What's going on? What's going on? Somebody wants some good news. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I hear you, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about some interesting things that I don't know how interesting they are, but things I've been observing. So there's a mix of good news and bad news, and sort of like I think the bad news is really short term, but long term, very good news, right? Like awesome news in the long term. But so yeah, I mean, just going through things. So Bitcoin formed a death cross with a 50-day moving average crossing below the 200-day moving average, and so on. A few things here and there. It was interesting. So 2025 is shaping up to be Bitcoin's 4th worst year on record for price performance. And then, but you see this down here, Texas becomes the first state to buy Bitcoin, invested $10 million into its strategic reserve. That's very good news. That beat, Texas just beat the federal government at that, right? Actually buying Bitcoin. So that is like super awesome good news. That is like something to look forward to in the future. Like we're to look forward to a total crypto market cap that's greater than the global total stock market cap, right? But yeah, I mean that's future good news. But I've been looking more and more into this that I've been sharing, this particular chart that I've been sharing over the last couple of days. And last couple of days, I guess since the weekend, right? So there's this phenomenon right now where long-term holders, the OGs of Bitcoins, are selling, and they're selling like crazy. They're selling unusual. There's like an unusual amount of selling. So if we go to recent history, as I've said, when there's a rally, they usually sell, and when there's when things are bearish, there is accumulation and there's hodling on their part. So this was the Trump pump. This was when Trump got elected, and we had a massive rally. So they were selling. So net negative. They're offloading their Bitcoin, and you see Bitcoin's price is exploding here, right? Same thing. We enter tariff season fiasco. And of course, prices go down to like bear market lows in those few months, and they're not selling anymore. They're hodling and accumulating and so on, which is expected. But now we go into a phase. First off, where they were selling like in September and October, which they should have been doing, right? Because it was a green month of September, and then like it was like the first week or first few days of October, Bitcoin made its its most recent all-time high, 126K. So they were selling, but they didn't stop selling, and then they've been aggressively selling like crazy over the last, especially the last few days, since we closed below the 50-week moving average for the second week in a row. They're selling again, which is like it's really odd. So I have this other chart here from this same website. I think I'll become a fan of this website, Check on Chain, right? If you go to checkonchain.com, if you want to look at these charts. But this is another interesting chart. It gives a lot more data, and sort of shows what I've been describing about this other chart. This other chart right here. But so if we focus on this chart, we have the holdings, right? This blue line here is the actual supply holdings of long-term holders, right? And this right here indicates their amount of selling. And it's really, I actually had to confirm this with Grok, and Grok said, yeah, it's a little counterintuitive, this terminology, but this over here, moderate spending, heavy spending, actually really means selling, right? So if we look over here, this is 2017. So massive bull run, Bitcoin top, right? So as you would imagine, they're selling and they're taking profits, right? So their holdings, their supply is going down, because over here, you can see they're selling like crazy, taking profits, and heavy selling, right? the pink and the moderate. So they're in heavy selling right here, heavy selling. And then, of course, again, they're hodling and accumulating over here because we're going descending down into the bear market of 2018. And you see the pattern over and over again. So same thing over here. We have the, the bull market that lasted like 13 months, last cycle, where it seemingly started in October of 2020 and didn't end until November of 2021 with the top, right? So we have this over here. We have this heavy spending, well, terminology. There's a terminology problem here. So heavy selling, and we have their supply going down because they're offloading their bags. They're selling, and yeah, it's over here indicates they're selling a lot, and so on. So this is, I guess, number of coins, the volume of their selling, and so there's quite a bit of selling. Same thing over here. They're hodling, accumulating. They're going, everything is, during every rally, the supply goes down. Every retracement, their supply goes up. Right over here, you can see they stop selling while their supply is going up. They stop selling, and for some bizarre reason, you can see here. What was it? Last 3 months. You can see here that I don't think, maybe 6 months that was a little better, or maybe actually 3 months. 3 months, this shows a little something right here. So this turns over here, you can see this turns pink, where there's suddenly, like right now, right? And you can see the dip right here with their supply right here over the last just few days, right? This is just this week, right? So we hit okay, so Bitcoin crosses below the 50-week moving average a little over a week ago for the first time, right? And they're selling a lot, and then they're explosively selling after the second week close, the second week that Bitcoin closed below the 50-week moving average. So it's selling aggressively. So why are they doing this? I don't know. I've long since been saying, I'll get your comments in a second. I've long since been saying that, we're going to have a really, really big rally, end of year rally. It's not going to be the cycle top, because I've been saying the cycle top is going to be a couple of years out, but there should be a big rally at the end of the year. And for the most part, the 4-year cycle zombies are going to dump on the slightest green candle and suppress great resistance on the market. But I think what's going on here, the long-term holders are selling and bringing us below the 50-week moving average. And then what's going on there is indirectly they're affecting the noobs to sell their bags as well, because now they get their favorite YouTuber that's telling them that we're descending into a bear market that's going to last the next 12 months and the cycle's over. So it's the combination of the long-term holders and the short-term holders that they're selling, and they're creating an incredible amount of suppression on the market right now, when we otherwise would see a Bitcoin that should be like 110 or maybe even 120. I don't want to say a new all-time high, because that might be pushing up, because we don't want to push it that far, because we do have a lot of low liquidity problems out there, right? We just had the government shutdown, sucking liquidity out of the market, and so on. But now it's reversing with the interest rate cut. Now there's an expectation of an interest rate cut. So the expectation is higher, which is very bullish in sentiment, which is probably the reason why we've gone above a little. So what's Bitcoin right now, right? So 87, right? It's probably the reason why we're seeing a little bit of a green candle, and because if not for the expectation of an interest rate cut on December 10th, we probably will be like really even more red. So why the hell are these guys selling? It doesn't make any sense. Why the hell would you sell at a local bottom? Why can't you just either sell it when, a month and a half ago when we reach all-time highs, or just wait another couple of months to to sell at an even greater price. It's really bizarre. So, I have this conspiracy theory that now that they came out, that Jeffrey Epstein was one of the original, I think it was a fly or something. One of the Jeffrey Epstein was one of the original funders of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's core team. So I don't know if they are concerned about that. I doubt it, but it's really strange. But it's a sharp spike in short term. Yeah, it is again short term Bitcoin holder capitulation, a pattern that historically preceded a short term market bottom. So this in fact implies that we might see a new bottom. So it's strange, but what do we expect? Do we expect a little bit some lower lows in the next week or so? We'll see. What blue chips bags you rate rotate? Rotate your bags into four. Oh, I don't know. You know what? Right now, things are so low right now that almost anything can get you a 10x, right? So when you're talking about, except for the ultra, top 10 cryptos, I don't think you're going to get a 10x out of XRP or something like that, or even Ethereum. But who knows? And we'll see what happens. It all depends on what time frame you're talking about. It's over the sellers here. The dinner bell ringing. They are getting out of the end of the fourth cycle. Yeah. I mean that's the thing. I think that these long-term holders are causing the price to go below the 50-week moving average, which is causing all the YouTubers to tell everybody we're descending into a bear market, and that's causing the short-term holders to just just sell their bags as well. So there is indeed a lot of suppression in the market, as I had been pretty much expecting. So I didn't expect this. I expect to be above the 50-week moving average and seeing green candles and seeing them not go too high. But it's kind of crazy. Going back to this one about let's go to CoinMarketCap. Going back to this blue chip question, right? What we got going on? Yeah, I don't like. You're not going to get 10x's out of a lot of these top 10s unless you're talking about like a 2027 top, right? But who knows what's going to happen in December? We should eventually get an end of year rally. It should happen, especially when we get that interest rate cut on December 10th, if we get it, or should I say when we get it, so I don't jinx us, right? We should get a nice end of year rally, and it's just I find it baffling that people, long-term holders that have like hundreds of Bitcoin or thousands of Bitcoin, and they're cashing out tens of millions of dollars, and they're not waiting for they're just not waiting for a rally. Why the hell are they selling at a local bottom? It's just crazy, and they're creating the bottom too. So they're creating it. Could it be that they're ill-advised? I mean, could that be the case? I mean, you tend to think of people with $100 million as being smart, right? Could it be that they're actually dumb? I don't know, man. It's just really strange. Could it be that they're listening to some other advisors that they have that are doing technical analysis, and they say that the chart says that we're going to go into a bull market for the next 12 or 15 months, so you should sell now? Do they have like some advisor that's telling them that? Are they just completely ignoring all the economic data? Are they ignoring the fact that we're going to start money printing? They're ignoring the fact that we're going to start cutting interest rates. The Fed is going to start injecting liquidity into the banks. Are they ignoring all that? I don't know. It's kind of strange. So people say no more alt season. What do you think? I don't believe that. No, like I could believe it if we're talking about an end of year rally. You know, there might not be an alt season, but if we're talking about the real cycle top that is going to happen, right? It's just going to happen soon enough. It's going to, but it's not going to happen like right now. Let me close some of these out. Let's close this out. Hold up. So yeah, I mean, this is what I was talking about. This is the ISM PMI. So production, supply, employment, and so on, a group of like 5 indicators that basically show, you know, how the economy is flowing and pumping and so on. So it's in every cycle in the past, you can see it. So it's so difficult. You got to really zoom in to Bitcoin. So this is the 2011 Bitcoin top, because you got to keep on doing like this and then go up, right? It shows it. So this is 2011. I don't want to keep on doing this, but which is kind of funny right here, because here, I noticed this when I was showing this chart yesterday. It's kind of funny. So in the 2013 cycle, right? Obviously, December 2013 was the cycle top. But there was a significant rally in the beginning of 2013. So I see I'm hovering over it right now. So we're talking about, you know, April, you know, early April to mid-April, well, you know, March and April. So you can see how this spike in the ISM manufacturing PMI, the PMI, is aligned to the spike in Bitcoin, you know, the rally in Bitcoin in early 2013. And then you have overall this hump, as you might call it, just signifies this cycle for 2013, right? And then you have this is another cycle, there's another PMI cycle, right? Going down to you know, the bear market here. So this is 2017, right? You see how perfectly that lines up, right? And then we have this right here. We have the other, this is the 2021 cycle. This is last cycle. Now, the thing is right here, you might say, okay, this doesn't match because this particular cycle, Bitcoin has been pumping, the price has been pumping. Well, PMI has been basically flat. It's been in its bear market. You know, we had the tightening, insane amounts of tightening to bring down the worst inflation rates we've seen in 40 years and so on. So PMI never got to its pump. It hasn't got to its pump yet. And it is just about to start pumping right now. So it makes you think, what are we going to see here? Like what's going to happen now? It's going to explode. And it's not going to happen overnight. It'll take over a year, you know, well over a year and a half. And that'll take us into 2027. So it'll turn into something like this, right? So, and so then you're like, okay, so why has it been pumping? And why has Bitcoin been pumping this cycle? Well, Bitcoin has something this cycle that it didn't have in any other cycle. It had institutional buy-in. So institutional buy-in was pumping the price. It had the ETFs. You know, so that's pumping the price. Now boomers are pumping the price because of ETFs and so on, right? So that's the divergence. The actual economy, the economic factors that have pumped Bitcoin every single cycle in the past have not even happened yet. So could it be that, like I'm saying, either these long-term holders that are selling, they're either worried that Jeffrey Epstein's involvement with Bitcoin is going to destroy everything, or they just have really bad advisors telling them that the bear market is starting for the next 12 months. They should get out now. I mean, is that because it's the timing is exact to the 50-week moving average. Bitcoin closes below the 50-week moving average for the first time, they start selling. It closes below for the 50-week moving average for the second time, which is just 2 days ago. They're selling aggressively, right? like absolutely aggressively. Maybe I should have closed that. Yeah, I keep coin market cap closed, but yeah, right. This one, yeah. So they're selling like insane, this aggressively. This is like the last few days. So it was coincidental that stuff about Jeffrey Epstein and the emails came out like a day before the first close before the 50 moving average. So it was like, which is it? Are they scared because of the weekly close, or are they scared because of Epstein? Right? So now it's different. Okay, that thing at Epstein's, that, you know, the Epstein's news, that's like a week old. Now we have new news, which is we closed below the 50 moving average for a second time. And then now they're aggressively selling. So it's I guess the conspiracy theory is probably not valid anymore now that this has happened, and they're dumb. This is what you call stupid rich. You got like $100 million of Bitcoin, and some idiot is telling you that the cycle is over. I don't know what else to say, man. You can see here, it's interesting over here. This is another chart. Like I said, this is, I find these charts to be very interesting, very illuminating. If you want to check them out, what is it? Checkonchain.com, right? But this is another one right here where they're still in profit. So the pink is the short-term holders, and the blue is the long-term holders, right? And the dark pink is short-term holders in profit, while the light pink is short-term holders in loss, right? And then over here is likewise, the dark blue is long-term holders in profit, light blue is long-term holders in loss. Now, these guys, this is the last 6 months. For the most part, the short-term holders are the ones that are bleeding out, the short-term. So the noobs, you know, the smaller retail and so on. People are new to the market and new to crypto. They don't know what they're doing. So, and, you know, they're listening to their favorite YouTuber tell them that we're descending into a bear market for the next 12 months and they should sell everything, right? These are the short-term holders, and almost all of them are in loss, right? They're almost all on loss right now. But almost all the long-term holders are still in profit, so they don't care. They're just selling. Like, hey, I bought Bitcoin when it was $1,000. You know, I don't care if I'm selling it at 80,000. You know, that's what they're doing. So they're in profit no matter what. And maybe they're just saying, okay, I don't want to take a chance that we're descending into a bear market for the next 12 to 15 months. I just want to sell now. That could be what they're doing. They're just into so much profit that they just don't care. You know, it's like, okay, I'm selling $100 million worth of Bitcoin. I don't care if, you know, it could go up. And they're saying, oh, you know, maybe it could go up, and, you know, they don't want to wait 4 years. They don't want to wait 4 years for their $100 million of Bitcoin to become worth like 400 million or something like that, or whatever it is. So, and this is their thought processes. So, I don't know. But if they keep selling and selling and selling, we could see a new bottom. I mean, it could happen, unless we just hang in there for the next 2 weeks, and then we get the rate cut. If we get the rate cut and we're hanging in there for the next 2 weeks, we probably will not see a new bottom. But yeah, blood in the water, time to buy. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, short-term holders are bleeding out right now. What's going on? Yeah, Mikey B. Yeah, Cass King. Yeah. Has anyone found what? Oh, just stupid. Spam. Oh, God. Well, let me just remove this one. Yeah, unwanted spam. Crazy spam. Yeah, okay, I see that. So it's inevitable for it to pump, just like it's inevitable for Bitcoin dominance to fall. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think like right now we are just getting started. I mean, considering what we're looking at, we're just getting started. And we could come down, you know. I mean, if something goes wrong over the next 7 to 10 days or whatever, we could see new bottom. We could go crashing below 80K again, you know, go down. Well, not again. What did we only go down? We only went down to 80, right? Last week. We didn't go below it. We didn't go to 79, right? But yeah, maybe we'll go to 75 or go to 70. Who knows? It could we could go crashing down or even below 70. It's just it's these guys right here. These guys right here can combine with low liquidity in the markets. And you know, any just like a pin drop of bad news is enough to take things down a little bit more too. You know, it's just you know, it's what we're dealing with. But yeah, geez, more spam. What the hell, yeah, craziness. All right, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, everything. I mean that's that. I mean, yeah, click that like button. I know it sounds grim what I'm saying, but you know, this is for the short term. It's really for the short term. I mean, we should be doing pretty damn good in December. I mean, as long as we get that interest rate cut, which we probably will. Oh yeah, let's give it a look. I actually didn't look at this today. The Fed rate monitor. We're at 79%. Yeah, so we're probably going to get it, and we'll see. It will be disastrous if we don't get it, man. I don't even want to think about that. We cross that bridge when we come to it. But if it happens, you know, don't panic and just buy more. You know, just you know, follow that bottom all the way down. Don't follow it holding it all the way down. Just follow it with stable coins all the way down, and just use those stable coins to just buy into, you know, in any of your high conviction tokens and so on. So other things, you know, this is interesting right here. Look at this. Ukraine has agreed to deals of a peace deal. This is massively bullish. Yeah, this is interesting. I am sort of like it was sort of like a blip in the news today, as if I really hear much about it. What we got going on over here? I already know my choice. The Fed. A closer look at Trump's. That's another thing, right? Yeah, that's another thing. So 5 finalists are on the list to replace Powell. So we're, you know, Trump's looking to pick his Fed chair, you know, for you know, for May. Dow leads, stocks higher as Wall Street rally continues. Yeah, so you know, stocks are good, but Nvidia slides. I think I saw some bearish news with Nvidia today, but the Dow is up, and I think the Nasdaq is not. Either way, I mean, whatever's. You know, everything is short term. Whatever happens today or this week, I don't think it's reflective of the next 12 months, like a lot of people are saying. People are really bearish, dude. People are like really bearish. I mean, like I have this list of you know, just YouTubers. There's something called PocketTube. If you, this is a cool add-on, PocketTube. It's an extension. What it does is it'll add, like, in your left navigation to your YouTube navigation, where you can organize by anything you want, really. I mean, like, I created a group called hold on, let me check something out. I created a group called Crypto, and I put a bunch of crypto, and just adding crypto influences in there, so I can get hold on. So if I go here, hold on, so So you can see here, look, so it's just a whole bunch of crypto YouTubers in here. And if you can do like this, and you can just see it just groups all the videos. It's just, see, I got Crypto John in here. I got, you know, bunch of different people that I found. So this guy right here, I've watched like at least 3 of his videos so far. Gambardello, and where's the other guy? Jesse Eckel. I can't think of any Jesse Eckel. I can't think of anybody, any YouTubers, except for these 2 guys. They basically talk about the business cycle and liquidity and QE and rate cuts and all this other stuff like I've been talking about. I just found it. I found Jesse Eckel like 2 weeks ago, and I found Dan Garbello. How is his name? Hold on. Where is it? The D, right? Yeah. Dan Gambardello. I just found him on the weekend because apparently he there was a lot of things going around. He gave a shout out to Caspa, talking about Caspa, so everybody was excited that a big YouTuber was, you know, shouting out Caspa, and I never heard of him. And I was like, geez, the amount of YouTubers I probably never heard of that are big and are amazing, because considering I never heard of this guy with 403,000 subscribers. That's crazy, right? And then this guy I never heard of until a couple weeks ago, right? So, and 276,000 subscribers. But like crazy amounts of YouTubers are just so bearish, man. Like so freaking bearish, talking about we're at the end of the cycle, and you know, it's bear market in the next, you know, couple of years. I'm like, I didn't want to pay attention to watching them anymore. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, this guy too? But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I mean, that's that. So these are the only 2 guys that apparently I found that actually pretty much say a lot of the things that I say. So, and I think there's hope out there. There's definitely a lot of hope for the next 2 years. I think it's going to be absolutely freaking amazing, considering things haven't even started to pump yet, man. I just like, it's nuts, right? It's like we haven't even seen anything yet because we haven't even gotten started. That's crazy. So essentially we're still in the bear market of the current cycle. It's basically, right? So we're still in the bear market of the current cycle, which is a crazy thing to think. So could we go down some more, and could it be fueled by erroneous assumptions about the cycles and like a 4-year cycle theory that never really existed? It was all based on the markets. It was really a dollar cycle. I've said that quite a few times. It's really a dollar cycle. It's not a crypto cycle, right? Just a dollar cycle. I mean, yeah, I mean, but I found this. I was just scrolling Twitter today. Iggy Azalea, right? Because I was big on the mother token back when it launched a year ago. Ended up with a pretty sizable bag, but you know, like everything, it's in the gutter right now. But you know, I liked her ability, Iggy Azalea's ability to actually market the token. So I'm still bullish on it long term. Meme season comes, let's say 2027. Like I'm saying, I do have hope for the mother token. A lot of these, and it's crazy, right? Because a lot of the projects that are seemingly dead, but they have a good dev team, right? Obviously, Iggy Azalea, you know, she's a dev for the mother token and so on. What does she have? But, you know, 7 million followers, right? So she can pump the hell out of her token during an alt season. She can pump the hell out of her token, right? That would be freaking crazy. But yeah, I think in general, a lot of these memes, active devs, honest devs that just want to make their project shine. It may be like 100K market cap right now, But there's potential right there. It's like easy 1,000Xs on some of these tokens. You know, some of them are just going to disappear. So if you invest in them, you're going to lose your money, and they're just going to keep on going down, just wither away into oblivion, right? But others that are struggling, like on life support right now, they're going to see like 1,000Xs and even 10,000Xs, because it isn't, you know, it isn't unrealistic. Sometimes it happens to a lot of people. They put $100 into a token, they end up with $1 million. It happens with almost every single project that pumps to like $1 billion or whatever. Like there's somebody or some group of somebodies that got in really early and they held and it just exploded, right? But I think we're going to see a lot of that this 6-year cycle. We're only 4 years into this cycle, and the cycle is 6 years, right? We think of it like that. So there's a lot of pain. A lot of people are going to sell. A lot of people are going to get out of the market, and those are going to be the real losers. So, but anyways, yeah, this is what she said. I thought it was pretty cool. It's unbelievable how much misinformation spreads. It's unbelievable how much misinformation gets spread simply because the loudest people often know the least. At some point, the ego collapses on itself. Irrelevance becomes inevitable once people realize how often they've been wrong. I'm not worried. This is philosophical right here. I was like, damn, yeah, I like that. I like that. Speaking of which, I don't know. Let's go back to let's go to let's check. I don't know. Let's check a few tokens here and there. 4 million is actually is holding up better than I thought. 4 million. The mother Iggy, the mother token. 4 million. Yeah, everything is in the gutter right now. And it has 24 centralized exchanges. It hasn't really lost any centralized exchanges. I remember it being like that. So that's, you know, it's still active. It's still in the mix. 4 million. That's interesting. Actually lower than Jerry the Turtle, right? Because I just checked Jerry the Turtle yesterday in my stream, and it was like 1.5 million. Look at that, yeah. So you never know. Some projects, you know, especially meme projects, right? Some projects they're like 4 million, like the mother token, or 1 million, like Jerry the Turtle, or maybe even less than 1 million. They still have some good potential, but it's going to be a long road. It's going to be a long road before you can buy that Lambo, right? You can in the long run, but you have to understand that it's going to be at least a year, you know, before you see anything that's going to make a difference. But yeah, it's going to pay off eventually. Not financial advice, of course, right? Because some of them could just suddenly just rug and, you know, fade away into the oblivion. Right? But some of them are, you know, going to make people rich. Oh yeah, Besson says there's a very good chance Trump names his new Fed chair before Christmas. Yeah. Hopefully it's going to be a dovish Fed chair, as they say, on rate cuts. So, you know, as opposed to hawkish. And yeah, I don't know. How's Casper doing today, right? Everything is doing okay today. I think the pump was really yesterday. Well, this pump is today, right? There's 24 hours, so this is like overnight. How's crypto bubbles? Yeah. Oh, this is a 301 to 400, so. Yeah. The quant. Yeah, it's just normal. I think there's some green bubbles. There's also a bunch of red as well. So I don't know. I think we're inflection point right now. Maybe like tomorrow is either going to be really green or it's going to be really red. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, you guys, click that link in the description below one day, man, because we're going to get those 1,000 X's and 10,000 X's. You know, Um, me and my community, we already get easy 100x's, right? So like MYX, 550x. I think in the long run, I mean, we're going to see a lot of 1000x's. Play your cards right. Depends on how you trade. Obviously, in my group, if you're in my group, you're going to see those 1000x's. Because if if we can do some of these things like now, imagine what we're going to do like next year. If we're really in a bull market, imagine imagine the magic we're going to pull out of our hats, man, next year. So, and I can't wait, man. It's going to be so much fun. Because, you do like 127x, and then you cash out, and then you put all that into the other tokens, and you get another 100x, and it keeps building and building and building, and eventually you end up with something like this. Let's say super yachts. Let's find some super yachts. Let's find some super yachts. Mega yachts. Let's go to images. I'm nice. You know what? Yeah, let's do this. Who's going to be chilling with me in one of these things? Oh, that's interesting. It's kind of small, but this one interesting. Who's down? Who's down? Ooh, look at that. Crazy, right? These concept yachts. Yeah, it's dead though. Like hardly anybody's commenting. Only 12 people watching. It's kind of nuts. That's how like influential these influencers are into convincing everybody we're in a bear market. And like nobody's around. It's really crazy. And now is the best time to buy. Everybody's told they should just sell their bags and just walk away right now because we're going to descend into the crypto winter and nobody's around. It's just nuts. It's kind of nuts. But I'd advise you guys to if you want to join up now while you can. Anybody's watching this. Not too many people are because everybody thinks we're done for. But yeah, I mean, when we see some green months, we get into multipliers like these. When we see green months, all these from this year are for like May and June or September and August, September and October. So it's just out of the blue. Things just start pumping. So you're going to want to get in now, get into some of those plays. Like there's a bunch of tokens that me and my community are holding. A lot of them are AI tokens. I'm really, really bullish on AI or anything to do with AI. Even RWAs, but in general, everything's going to pump. Everything's going to pump. This MYX was the DEX narrative for de-aging AI is the AI narrative, and so on. But I think it's a few memes. This is fundraising, giggle fun, and but yeah, you're gonna want to know what to get in on. What to get in on now? I decided to keep this lifetime membership really low in case you want to get on it. I consider this my Black Friday deal, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a. I've talked about this before over the last month or so ago. I think I'm going to open up a new tier because right now my members are called premium members. I think I'm going to open like a VIP tier. And what I'm going to do is anybody who got in at the $79 a month, I can offer them a downgrade if they want, because right now everybody has permission to just DM me and contact me and just talk about whatever. So I want to offer like another tier where you can't DM me and stuff like that, because in the long run, too many people DMing me would just be like overwhelming, right? So so it might be less money to get in at a VIP tier than a premium member. So I guess we'll work it out, try to figure out what's the best price. I might only be like a short-term deal. I might close it out maybe in December. We'll be like that's my Black Friday special. You can get in my community for a lesser price. And the only you just you don't get to DM me. You don't get to talk about your portfolio with me and things like that. And but there is a portfolio reviews channel if you want. There's a portfolio reviews channel. There are all these amazing calls, right? And they're called by highly advanced bots that scan everything about new tokens and new projects, scan everything they do, their fundraising, their Twitter activity, everything they do. So we can determine which is going to be the most, the biggest bang for your buck, the highest, plays of them in the market. And all this other tech, swing trading software. So get in if you can, while you can, if you're still around, if you're not a 4-year cycles on me, and if you don't believe what these idiot YouTubers are telling everybody, man. I guess except 3 of us. As far as I know, there's me, Dan Garbello, I gotta remember how to pronounce his last name, and Jesse Eckel. As far as I know, is everybody else. And you know what? It's crazy because Crypto Galaxy, I haven't heard Crypto Galaxy be bearish either. So him as well. So typically Crypto Galaxy, I mean, what I don't like is he ignores a lot of the macroeconomic data. He ignores all that. And he says like crypto is completely separate from the whole economy and so on, which I think is wrong. It's a fallacy. I think that he shouldn't do that, but he's not bearish. He's not saying that we're descending into a crypto winter. So that's interesting too as well. Anyways, guys, click the link in the description below and I will catch you guys later.
Code Monkey, Code Monkey.